We are a quarter of the way into the Premier League campaign and Liverpool sit firmly at the top of the table. In fact, Arne Slot is experiencing the best start as a Liverpool manager ever, and a lot of odds have Liverpool as the main frontrunners for the title itself. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at Arne Slot's tactics, what he has changed and what he has altered to turn Liverpool into title favourites. This Liverpool side under Arne Slot are more measured, they're more tempered, and that's something you're going to see a lot of people talking about. You're going to hear them talk about the differences between Slot and Klopp and the impact that Slot has had. He has made this Liverpool side far more composed, far more measured, but what does that actually mean? Liverpool have had a lot of changes in this season, but not a lot of them are very, very obvious. It's only when you dive a little bit deeper into the statistics that it really starts to become apparent. In fact, Liverpool this season have 10 fewer, on average, 10 fewer shot creating actions per 90. They've dropped from 36.53 down to 25.64. Now that is quite a difference, and it's a difference because Liverpool aren't getting into the same attacking positions on a continuous basis. They're not creating as many shots, but instead, in tandem with that, they are actually creating better quality chances. And that is down to a number of different features, including the distance that they are taking their shots from. So, in the 23-24 season, Liverpool were taking shots on average from 17.2 yards out. They are now taking shots from around about 16 yards out. They are taking fewer shots from outside the box. They actually have the second fewest shots from outside the box in the Premier League this season, and that means that they're getting into the penalty area a whole lot more. That means they're looking to really get towards a better goal scoring opportunity. They're taking less shots. They're having fewer shot creating actions, but in turn, I can tell you that Liverpool actually have the same amount of goal creating actions per 90 with 3.45. 3.45 goal creating actions per 90, but still they have lower shot creating actions. They're creating a better quality of opportunity, and that's down to the build-up and the measured approach that Arne Slot's Liverpool has. And it's the way that they build up and the way they utilise possession through the midfield that really starts to make a difference. But what do I mean by that? Well, Liverpool's methodical build-up and slow progression of play gives them something that they didn't have previously, and that, I believe, is balance. The balance within this side to be not only defensively sound, but also maintain their attacking qualities with the players that they've got on the pitch gives them an added dynamism for when they want to go forwards. So, for example, take a look at this. This is during the game that they had against Aston Villa, and look at their build-up. They have a 3, 1, 2, almost an extra player there, 3. And that's because Trent Alexander-Arnold has moved into this position. But look at what this has done to Jacob Ramsey. Look how deep he is. Look at where Leon Bailey is. When you look at Aston Villa's front four, there is a huge difference between where Jacob Ramsey probably wants to be and where he actually is. And this gives Kanate a heap of space to be able to drive forwards. It also gives Gravenberch space to run into. This automatically causes the opposition a problem and prevents them from being able to stop any kind of build-up going through this channel right here. If you leave Trent, he's free. If you don't take that opportunity, there's always going to be another one for Liverpool later on down the line due to the positioning. And it's the slow and methodical build-up that is really starting to cause these opposition problems. And it's through the way and their flexibility, through being able to go long if they want to, being able to go short if they want to. It's the directness of play, the slowness of the progression, and the tactical flexibility that's in this Liverpool side that's making them so very difficult to predict. The utilisation of the fullbacks has always been extremely important for Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, but also under Slot, and it's those differences between the two that I think is really, really apparent. And it's all down to the word that I used earlier, balance. when we look at Liverpool building up under Arne Slot in comparison to Klopp, a couple of things really start to not only be a bit different, but also similar. The play and real ability of Trent Alexander-Arnold has been noticed by obviously both managers, and both managers want Trent in this area, not only for his passing into the box, but also for his creative aspect, the pass before the pass, if you will. And we've seen this on a number of occasions, but to do that, Liverpool need defensive balance and they need flexibility. That is why Andy Robertson has played a little bit more of a reserved role, and I'm going to use that in a really positive term, because what it allows Liverpool to do is commit Trent forwards a little bit more. And in doing that, it gives them a defensive platform to be able to build from, but it also gives them the ability to move McAllister and Jones around the midfield a little bit freer, because they know they have another option here. He's not as central as he was previously, he's a little bit more out on the wing, and in doing that, it gives Gravenberch an option all the time. It allows McAllister to move forwards and join in on this side, and all of a sudden you've got a bit of real dynamism. You've got some symmetry. If you look at this Liverpool side now, you've got some symmetry. You've got one, you've got one, you've got one, you've got one. You see what I'm saying? You have a symmetry in the way that they play, in the way that they go forwards, allowing Trent to go and do his thing, but still maintaining that defensive balance in this side. Utilising Ryan Gravenberch as a lone central defensive midfield pivot has been pivotal to the way that Liverpool have wanted to go forwards. That main six, that player to be able to link defence and attack. Gravenberch has been so instrumental in the progression of play for Liverpool that it's unlocked McAllister and Jones and Szoboszlai to be able to go forwards and do what they need to. And it's that and the balance that is created through that is one of the most important things in this Liverpool side. The idea of being defensively balanced, especially when going forwards, runs right through this Liverpool side. This is another example against Aston Villa, only in this occasion we have Conor Bradley here instead of Trent Alexander-Arnold. And just look at the position that he's taking up. Look at this. Again, we're thinking about that Trent position, that inside right channel, that Trent position where he can cross into the box, where he can play it out wide, or he can even play a pass into midfield, or even a cross-field pass. But look, 1, 2, 3 players. You've got that defensive backbone, you've got that foundation to then build off and go forwards, and of course you've got your main pivot in Gravenberch, and you've got your 2 midfielders who are making their way towards the box. This is because Nunez has dropped back and the striker has become a more of a build-up player in this particular part of midfield. But you've still got width. Salah is out on this side, you've got an inside channel player, you've got Gravenberch on this left-hand side, and again, you've got balance. You have a huge amount of balance within this side, and then as it progresses, Nunez recovers the ball and then moves infield. But what have you got as well? You've got the 2 midfielders who are moving into the box, you've got Robertson making a run out here because Diaz is moving infield, and it just gives them a whole heap of balance going forwards. And that is a word that I want you guys to really resonate with. Balance. It's something that I think is going to be the difference for Liverpool this season if they continue in their fantastic vein of form. Attack wins you games, defence wins you championships. That's a saying that I think perfectly applies to Liverpool when looking at them in this current moment. Their 4-2-4 shape when out of possession is something that teams are really struggling to deal with, and that's not only down to the compactness of play with the lines that they have, not down to the narrowness of play that they have within the pitch, but it's also down to the individual ability of specific players within their side that has really not only grown but flourished under Arne Slot. Ibrahima Konate having a win percentage in tackles of 80%. Trent Alexander-Arnold being 7th highest for tackles in the defensive third with 19. And in fact, having the 4th highest amount of tackles in general in the Premier League with 24. You then got Ryan Gravenberch with the 2nd highest amount of interceptions in the Premier League this season with 21. Alexis McAllister with the highest amount of blocked passes in the Premier League with 20. This Liverpool side are dynamic, they're defensively aware, and they have the acuteness and the real drive and determination to be defensively set up to be able to best exploit their opposition's weakness. And this is down to the way that they have been able to be set up, their 4-2-4 shape, and their willingness to work for each other as a side. And this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. So here is Liverpool playing against Arsenal, and we have them in their 4-2-4. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is the midfield too, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. The compactness of the lines between this Liverpool setup means that they are difficult to play when playing over the top. The offside line that they currently have is really, really well done, and that was obviously coached at the time by Jurgen Klopp. But it's also in the narrowness of their play, and as I said earlier, in the individual aspects that has shone through this Liverpool side. They actually have the best aerial win rate of 57% this season. Virgil van Dijk is a key pillar of that, winning 71% of his aerial duels. And just generally, this side is fantastic. Look how narrow they are. Look how much they don't want to allow Arsenal to play through them. And then you've got the ability for the midfielders to jump if they ever need to, but of course marking their respective opposition players, and you've got the back four who are really tight-knit, really well drilled, who obviously can then go forwards and exploit the opposition at any given opportunity. They have quality, and they are the best defensive side in the league currently after only conceding 6 goals out of 11 games, and it really is looking very, very promising. But although Arne Slot has changed some things to make Liverpool more defensively resolute, the DNA of Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool is still very much there, and we can see it in this instance right here. The ball is going to get crossed in by Aston Villa, it's going to ricochet around, and it's going to find itself with Virgil van Dijk right here. And Liverpool are going to counter-attack in devastating fashion. Liverpool actually have the second highest amount of counter-attacks this season in the Premier League, and only Tottenham have more. As Virgil van Dijk plays it off, we're going to see 1, 2, 3 Liverpool players be devastating, taking that space, taking that momentum, and this is exactly what we would think about when referencing Jurgen Klopp. It's synonymous with Klopp to be able to take the space, to be direct, powerful. Liverpool's red arrows flying towards goal just brilliantly worked. And although Salah gets taken down here, do the Liverpool players give up? No, they do not at all. Darwin Núñez continues, and you've still got one behind him as well, just in case he doesn't finish it. It's a risky touch, but he manages to finish it perfectly, but it's only available because of the directness of play, the ability for Liverpool to really take that space and play at 100 miles an hour, which we know they are still capable of, and that is down to Jurgen Klopp. Let's take a look at one more example of that blend that I was talking about, and in this particular example, we're going to be referencing the transitional play that used to be so common under Jurgen Klopp. It's still here in this Liverpool side, and it was perfectly shown off in the game against Manchester United. So Casemiro, who was currently off your screen, is going to try and make a pass, and we want to pay attention to Ryan Gravenberch. Remember what I said about his interceptions. He is going to be able to read that pass right here and intercept the ball perfectly, and then it's about the transition. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool was all about transitioning quickly, isolating those spaces and being able to take them with a really aggressive manner, and that's exactly what happens here. So you've got 1, you've got 2, and you've got 3 and 4 here who are able to spin around and transition the play extremely quickly. It's then about whether they're able to take that space and turn it into a major opportunity. Remember, we spoke about that. Those shot creating actions, those goal creating actions, creating those moments that have a higher quality or chance of completion. And then it's about driving down the line. Then you're looking at taking that space, taking those moments, playing that pass in, brilliantly weighted by Gravenberch after his great anticipation, and then it's about the cross. It's all about the cross after that, and it's whether it can make it towards that back post. It just so happens that it can, and it's brilliantly worked, but it wouldn't have been able to be transitioned in that way if it wasn't for the anticipation and the aggression shown within this Liverpool side, which of course was a telltale sign from Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. In summary, one of the most exciting things about Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool was the ferocity that his sides played with, and under Arne Slot this hasn't been lost, but it's almost been taken and then refined and tempered into a more balanced side with capabilities of doing both attacking and defending to an extremely high level, and it will be this balance that will be the difference and the key if Liverpool are to go on and win the league this season. But of course guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learnt something new, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care.